Hello, hello. I guess we can just wait for some viewers to pop up. Maybe we should share on social media that we are live. And then we can start a sprint and I can start cleaning up my apartment. So let's okay. Oh, saw your message. Okay.
I know, it's shocking when I'm actually awake when we start a stream.
Let me I'm just adding this to the story. I blinked in the 1 second that it actually took the photo. I wasn't blinking the whole time, and then okay. I hate how they changed like all the stickers that go in stories. Like the whole view is different, so now I'm constantly trying to be like, where is stuff?
Where is it? I know. I need to stop even. I'm going to turn my notifications off for a while. Like I keep joking with my sister that I'm going to stop arguing with people on Instagram. And then somebody sends me something stupid and then I have to respond to it. But I posted one little comment on one little thing. And now all of these like angry men keep trying to comment things. And then I have this really bad habit of
replying.
Yeah, replying.
Yeah, just don't do it.
What if they called me a hussy? And I was like, do we even use that word? I had to Google what it meant because I was like, I feel like that's something like my grandma used to say, and I feel like it's offensive.
It is. But
so and then my response was the definition. Yeah, it was. But I just went to like check our stories and make sure I posted it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna stop looking at my phone for a while.
Yeah, no, don't get into fights with trolls online.
I know. It just doesn't end because once you're like, okay, cool. I've crafted the best, well thought excuse or like explanation, and then they won't, and then they come back with like something stupid. I'm like, you're making my brain hurt.
They're already trolls. That's why any logical response doesn't hit them. You just can't engage to begin.
I know. And then the problem is because I engaged them, then seeing more, so then more of them come to engage, and I'm like, I just need to turn my notifications off, and then it'll go away.
Or just don't comment to begin with. Like, don't invite it.
See, but when they say really stupid things, I have this. I know.
Then share it to your story so that people can see what you're commenting on it, but not strangers who don't know you.
That is true.
I say this lovingly, but just like you
I
can't.
know. I also, the problem is during the day, I'm usually pretty good about like, oh, whatever. But then it's like 11 p.m. or midnight and I'm tired, but I can't sleep. And I'm like, well, what did you just, excuse me, sir. Let me just type out a little reply and then try to go to sleep. It's fine. I need more adult interaction. That's all it is.
Yeah, don't do it. But they're all immature. Don't do that.
I know.
We readopted net neutrality in this country the same week our country also basically signed the Patriot Act 3.0 into effect, which allows them to spy on us with any device that connects to the internet without a warrant.
That's fun.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Oh, but then they're worried about TikTok?
Well, so here's the thing is that they called it a TikTok ban so that people would be like, oh, that's dumb. I don't need to pay attention. And you're like, yeah, that's part of it. But what's really part of
Like
it,
stuff in them, which I feel like that should be like a
they
thing that
put all this other stuff in it. And then there were TikTok videos about it's called a TikTok ban to make you not take it seriously. Here are all the very, very serious things that are in this.
I feel like that should be like the thing that isn't allowed is to put like other stuff into a bill. Like,
Yeah.
because that's how they
You
hide
can't
so much stuff.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
shouldn't be allowed to group a bunch of things into a single
no.
bill.
Well, and then that's why then they split it, or they're like, oh my gosh, well, look at, they don't want to give you X, Y, and Z. But in reality, they're like, the reason we voted no for that is because they're trying to put all of this inside of this thing. So now we look bad for voting no.
Yeah.
Or we're doing it at the same time. Like it's just so shady. It's so shady.
The whole
Ugh.
government shady.
Hmm?
The whole government is
I
shady.
know. It's awful.
Yeah. It says we have one viewer. Maybe I'll text some people individually and also be like, hey, we're live. But also like I need to start cleaning my apartment. So even if people aren't here, we might just start the forest room and then jump into it really soon. So let me just see. Just see. Okay, someone saw. And then we'll see if they show up. Okay, someone's coming. Hi, Regina. Okay, let's do the forest room.
Officer Brown.
Okay. Code is 4 Zulu uniform Sierra uniform Foxtrot Bravo Sierra Golf. It is up on screen. Regina saying, I have 3 people coming today for different chores, so I may be away from the screen from time to time, but I will leave it playing. Love you guys. I'm getting a quote on a concrete for driveway. Congratulations. I will also be cleaning and doing chores during this stream.
Me too.
I'll be at the computer when the sprints are over. But I think today's just a chore day, despite it being Thursday and not like feels like a Sunday to me, and I don't know why.
I don't know. My kids are on spring break, so everything's wild. This actually was perfect though when you sent this out, because I had just put in like my request for time off, and I would specifically put in for today and tomorrow off, thinking I was going to like relax and write and do all these great things because the kids will be in school. And then I found out that they have spring break this week. So it's good though, because I have time off while they're here, but it's been chaos this week. But I really wanted to write during the sprint. But while I've been working, my kids have been hanging out in my room watching my TV. And I can't even remember my own name right now until this room is clean. So I will also be cleaning during the sprint.
Yeah, I'm normally pretty good at keeping the mess out of camera frame, and normally it's fine. But it got a little bit crazy yesterday, and most importantly, Riley's coming later today, which means the couch needs to be clean so she has her domain, and the living room floor needs to be clean so she can't get into anything she's not supposed to. So it shouldn't take too long. However, it still needs to be done. So
your house does not look messy at all. So
camera angles.
Right? I'm like, there's a reason why you only see the wall. I came in here. I'll just give you an example. I came in to check on them yesterday, and I'm like, cool. Okay, you guys got us. And they're like, we got a snack, Mom. I'm like, cool. And then I come in and I'm like, why is there a bunch of like bread crust, like the crust of bread, just like hanging out on my bed?
Yeah.
I was like, I'll make you a sandwich. I'll cut out the crust. They're like, no, we just want it. They did not want a sandwich. They just wanted the plain bread, but they don't like the crust. So they pulled it off and then just like left a pile.
No. So like I mean, the good thing is that like all like trash and stuff that's been taken care of. It's not like it's more just like I have boxes that need to go into the recycling room that I didn't do yesterday, and then I need to just move some things to different places.
It's just like clutter, just like, like almost like you live in your house.
Yeah, I know. Which is like the biggest complaint that I have about some people who I know. They'll be like, it's so messy. And I'm like, I live here. Like I work up until the moment that I'm expecting company, which means everywhere that they should be is clean. And they should not be at my desk, which means that I'm allowed to have my pens and my journal open on my desk. Because I was working on there up until I opened the door for you.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm the person I'm like, I don't care if your house is perfect or if it's messy. I don't care. If I'm coming over to your house, I'm not going to judge you. Yeah. Unless it's like a problem and then I'm like, can I help? But
I don't know. I think I have a very high tolerance for like what is a problem.
Yeah.
So like, granted, there are times where even I'm like, no, this is too messy. It needs to be cleaned. But those are times where no one's coming over. Yeah. Because it's been like, I've been in work mode for hours.
Yeah.
Not like 2 days or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I just feel like when you go to someone, it almost makes me like uncomfortable when I go to somebody else's house and like every single thing, like you can't see a spick of anything, like a dust or anything. I'm like, do you move? Like, do you enjoy your space? And like, I'm afraid because I'm clumsy and messy. Like, I don't want to touch anything.
Like, is this an Airbnb? Because I don't. Like, am I going to be charged for this visit?
Right? Like here's how I expect my house to be, because I have two wild animals, my children, and then I have Frank and myself, who is, I mean,
I
the
was going
fact
to say,
that
does Frank count as a wild animal? Because if so, then you have three
no.
animals.
And then of course don't forget Steve. I mean, he doesn't really move much, but he's still there. He exists. And sometimes his legs fall off of his skeleton body and I trip on them. But the point is, we live in our home. So
For
my
people
goal
who don't know who Steve is, you might want to clarify.
Steve is my skeleton. He's like a Halloween skeleton who just hangs out. I call him my roommate because I am weird and I have no human interaction other than 9-year-olds. Anyways, so I clean my house at night. I wake up. I love being able to wake up, have a nice clean house. Chaos ensues throughout the day. The children go to bed, and then I put on a YouTube video and I clean up the house, and then it all starts over the next day. So if you come to my house at 3 p.m., it's not going to be great. However, it's not always like that. It's like from the hours of like 9 to like 9, it's pure chaos.
Yeah.
Because we live in our home and we use our things.
Shocker.
Exactly.
Okay, with all that said and all the cleaning that we need to get done,
Let's do it.
This, please pre-order Inimitable's titles. Also buy them because there are some that are just out, but pre-orders are always the best because you get gifts associated with them as long as you fill out the forms on the website for each title. If you filled any of the ones out that haven't come out yet, but you filled them out on October 23rd, 2023 or after, they did not register your submission yet. So please redo it. It was fixed at the start of the month, but please just do it again, just in case. Worst comes to worst, I see, oh, this is the same receipt uploaded twice. So you want to get your gift. With that said, let's start in 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I'm going to be turning on the ASMR from the timer. So if you don't like that, you can mute us and come back. It is built into the timer, so it's not that one of us is unmuted. I just need to quickly call my mom. So the timing of her messaging right after the sprint ended was something. So hold on, everyone. She's not picking up. Anywho, it's only kind of busy because I have to take care of Riley on top of everything else I normally do. I did like half the cleaning up. I have the other half to do for the next sprint. Amara, you're on mute. Do you want to talk?
Oh yeah, I just keep it muted when the kids are home because who knows when there's going to be something that sounds like somebody's getting murdered, but really it's just because there's an ad on their video. But yeah, I did half my room. It really wasn't that messy. I just kept getting distracted because my best friend was sending me like voice messages, and for some reason it's a voice message, so I can press the button while doing things, but instead I press the button and then I sit and I listen and then I talk back. I don't know. I don't know. But so I got most of my room cleaned. All I have to do now is just vacuum. But it looks like my room and not an extension of my children's play rooms. Yeah. Also, I'm looking at a pile of at least 20 Hot Wheel cars.
Yikes.
That I put on. They have so many that they don't even realize that they're missing any because there's like 20 in my room. So that means that there's probably at least 50 in the living room.
It's like they don't miss it if it's.
Oh, it's crazy though, because they know every single one that they have, and they'll be like, "Mom, have you seen my insert very long car name here?" And I'm like, I don't know." And then the other one will be like, "Oh, I know where it is. It's in the room under this thing behind this toy." And I'm like,
then maybe put it in a single spot.
But like, you don't know where your shoes are. Like you have
They
one shoe. Like you got shoe in this one. They're not the same. At least they're both black, but they're clearly not the same shoe. But you know exactly where your random car here is. Like, I don't
Look, they have priorities. They just don't align with yours, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's basically it's the ADHD is what it is. It's like it's the same thing with me. Ask me where either set of keys or the spares that I made are. I have no idea, but I can tell you about the time that I embarrassed myself in 8th grade in excruciating detail, like it happened yesterday.
I'm sorry you still have that.
But I have spares for my spare keys,
which is smart.
As long as you know where they are.
I live in a building with a doorman, and so they just have it. And anytime I misplace it, they're like, okay, and they have to do this whole thing to sign it out and insert like a security code and be like, what's the reason and who are they giving the key to? So it's never like, oh my God, your key was given out to a stranger. It'll be like, this person has your key, and it's okay. And the key was returned at this time. And, so everything's good. And that, I don't think I would be okay without that, because I definitely
Yeah.
would forget. I don't often need to go down there and be like, hey, I can't find my key. But when I do, it's really helpful to have.
That's lovely. I love that. I have all my bookshelves, like if you've ever seen, like, I don't know, I usually just stand in front of a wall, but I have lots of bookshelves around my house. And that's a really great place to like set stuff, to like hide it, or like for some reason I just set things there, or I'm like, oh, I know this is a great idea. I have my debit card that I need and should go in my wallet, but instead I'm just going to stick it in between these two books on this random bookshelf because that's smart. And then of course I don't remember. So I had a debit card for when I DoorDashed, and I lost it. I looked everywhere for it for months. I thought it was in the car. I looked on every single bookshelf and it was not there. And then I got a replacement. I go to move and I'm unpacking, or I'm packing up all my books and stuff. And I found not only that debit card, but another one that I had lost a few months before that for a different account, both in between the same set of books on this bookshelf that I had checked like 15 times.
Yikes.
Also sets of spare keys, receipts, phone numbers, who knows? Like I just stick stuff inside the
Sorry.
Bless you. I don't know why I do it though. I just,
because you're probably like, oh, I'll remember, and then unfortunately you don't.
but I'm 38. I should understand at this point that like when that thought comes into my head that it's a bad idea, because I will not remember, but the thought comes into my head and I don't have the, oh, this is a bad idea. I have this is a genius idea.
Is that the ADHD of being like, one day it'll work?
Probably. But I was at work, and we have the like employee resource groups and stuff where you just kind of join different groups, and sometimes we'll have like seminars or meetings and stuff, and you just attend them all virtually. And one of the ERGs that I'm in is for like mental health and neurodiversity, and just understanding how that works in the workplace. And there was this really amazing presentation that I got to watch yesterday, and it was so cool. And it was just like explaining just how people with ADHD, our brains are just work a little bit differently. But it was so cool because first it was like, okay, so here's some of the things that they experience in their day-to-day lives, but then here's why it's actually a benefit, and why having people on your team with ADHD is a benefit, because they are empathetic and creative and all of these different things. And I'm like, I like this. I feel special, which was literally the point of the seminar. But
well, that's cool.
Yeah,
that is very cool.
Anyways,
let me share the forest room code for the next brand. If anyone's curious, I'm crocheting a giant dragon, and this is the head so far. The snout.
I love that.
Thank you, Regina, for the bless you. Wisteria is the next tree. And then we shall plant. Yes, I will. But right now it's like a giant bowl, so there isn't like, I haven't started decreasing the number of stitches. So if I stuffed it now, it would just fall out anytime I moved. So that's later. 6-6. Romeo X-ray. Victor 6. November Sierra Golf.
Get some. Oh.
Okay. Let's start in 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I'm back. Sorry about that.
Hello.
Hi. How'd you do?
I finished my room. I made the bed. I vacuumed. Honestly, like the fact that it's taking me 2 sprints to do this is kind of ridiculous because I kept again getting distracted. But I also ordered Subway for the kids and me, and finished cleaning and vacuuming and made the bed and wrote 7 words.
Woo, you're on a roll.
Yes, but now that my room is clean and vacuumed and looks like it belongs to me, I can actually do some writing.
Yeah. I almost finished the dragon head. The problem is that the shape does not look like what it does in the pattern. Like it looks like the snout's supposed to be longer in the image. And I don't know what to do about that. Because I've done this. I like restarted the pattern already once to make sure it was correct, and it looked exactly the same. So this keeps happening with this pattern that I'm following.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll still look good. It's just not exactly like what the images show, and I'm just like keep wondering. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? It's like, but my numbers are the same for the counting and everything, so I don't really know what else there is I can do. You know?
I mean, I don't know anything about that's a skill I do not have. But when you stuff it, will it somehow maybe like fill it out or make it like
This is stuffed. So I added the stuffing.
Oh, okay. So you did this. Oh, okay. Because I think you said, oh, got it. Okay.
Like this is definitely the bottom, and this is like the more with the angle, but it's still, I don't know. I need to add the eyes. I marked where the eyes are going to go with the, maybe and then I have to take out the stuffing to do the eyes. So maybe it'll help with this shape. I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe as it all comes together. It's kind of like, I mean, I don't know how to do any of that, but it's like when I'm like, I can build this, I don't know, table or whatever. I don't know if you remember if I ever brought it up. So when I first got my apartment in Oregon, when I had moved out, I was like, I need like a little table to put under the TV. So I bought one from like Target, and I'm like, yes, I can put it together. And none of the instructions made any sense. When the final thing was put together, it was upside down and backwards. So I put everything together wrong, but you know what? It still worked, and it looked like the table was supposed to look. It was just upside down and backwards. So I had to take like little like black electrical tape and cover up the little like where the screws go, because if you do it correctly, you don't see those things because they're hidden. But when you put the tape together upside down and backwards, you see all of the screws. But it was fine because it still looked like a table and it was functional.
Yeah.
And only I knew that it was upside down and backwards because I did it. But the point is, sometimes you get there even if you take a different path or you're doing all the steps right. So you might feel like it's wrong, but then when you put it all together, you'll be like, okay, now I understand why. It's fine.
I will say I am using a different hook size because I couldn't see the stitches at all with the smaller hook because the yarn is like this fuzzy thing. This is what I don't normally use, but it is what you're supposed to use for this pattern. And so that could be part of it. But this is so much wider than even what. Oh, is that what? It's not supposed to be wide? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if you guys, if it's as loud for all of you, but they're screaming in the background. My life is awesome because the subway's on its way. They just really like.
I mean, I'm happy they're grateful for their life. That's good.
Yeah.
Can I please use the TV app for one?
Yeah, simple pleasures in life, apparently.
Can't really beat them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also excited that the subway is on its way because I'm hungry.
Okay, one eye on.
Yay. Oh, that looks so cute.
Holding it up to the camera, it looks like a hippo, which it is not.
I think it's cute.
So that's there, which means this goes there. Okay. Sorry, I just want to do this while I'm not worried about timing and things like that, because this is like, once you've done this part, you can't really,
You can't go back.
yeah, because it's really hard to take out safety eyes, which is the whole point of them. But
They
it's
don't kind of fall out and they're like small and
right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, the eyes are set. And now maybe I was overstuffing the head.
maybe. So when you have less stuffing, it
has the more proper shape.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's so hard. They like don't say how much to put in. But obviously it needs to be enough to fill it. Maybe I just wasn't filling it correctly. You know, like was putting too much in certain areas and
it was changing the shape.
Yeah. I think I was overdoing it before because this looks so much better.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a ball with like a weird side. Now it's
you can see the shape is coming together a lot more.
Yeah, it looks more like a pillow.
Yes, it does look very like looks like when you're done, it's like not a squishmallow, but like you could you can just not you know.
Yeah, sorry, my mom's finally calling me back.
That's okay.
Okay, she said that she didn't even hear her phone ring when I had called her, which is weird. Because I expected her to see that I had called multiple times and then call me back, which is normally what happens.
Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. I should have gone to bed earlier last night because I did know that I still had to wake up early to go to work. But because I knew I was only working 3 hours, I was like, oh, it's like having an extra weekend night. I'll just stay up super late watching this show and get very little sleep and then get up and work and do all the things I have to do during the day. It'll be fine. And now I'm like,
It was not fine.
it's not fine because I'm very tired.
Been there. Okay, let me set up the forest room for our third sprint. This one I do anticipate to run long because I'll probably be running down to grab Riley from my mom. But for all I know, she'll arrive like at the very end of the sprint and I'll just be like, sorry. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, the shape has definitely been improved.
Oh yeah, much better.
So I think also just pulling on the yarn because I tend to crochet pretty tightly. So if I lengthen it, it'll look less like a beach ball. Yeah, there we go. Just a little bit each time. Okay. Forest room code is, there we go. It's loading. Six, 3, Tango, 3, 4, Delta, Charlie, Sierra Golf. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. It's like I don't check my email for 1 hour, and there's so much. So
I did this last week too, where I took half a Thursday and all of Friday off. And when I came in on Monday, I had like 80 emails.
That's upsetting. Yeah, let me see if I can. Oh, it works now. Okay, that's good. No, because something had been sent out yesterday and then it wasn't working yesterday. And so I wrote to someone and was like, hey, this link is broken. And they finally wrote back and were like, we fixed it. Why is this being a problem? I already have a Stripe account.
I don't know, but I just heard my kids. One says, hey, if I air slap 1,000 times, then you have to quack 1,000 times. What in the world are they talking about? Like, I know he's been walking around pretending to slap the air, and then the other one is he going to be starting to quack? Like, does he have to quack? Like, I need answers, but I'm scared to go out and ask for answers. But also, like, sitting here quietly and just listening to them, sometimes I'm like, how is that? Is that like from a game or like a video, or are my kids just strange? I don't
don't know. I'm really sorry.
know either. It's kids are so the conversations that like, okay, so the other day I'm at work and Jesse comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, mom, did you know that if you live to be 1,000 years or live to 1,000 years, then you'll have infinite wisdom?" And I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool." And I think I asked a question and he was like, "Yeah, basically what he's saying though is that you live the same day for 1,000 years. So by living the same day, you have infinite wisdom." And I'm like, okay, but like, does that mean you're doing the same thing every single day? Because then you're not gaining any more wisdom because you're just reliving the same thing over and over again. Or is it just the same like calendar day every day for 1,000 years, but you're getting new experiences every day? Because then you would have more wisdom. And then I realized that I've been talking about this for 5 straight minutes, asking questions and just going around in a circle. Because every question I ask is just, well, yeah, because it's 1,000, so it's infinite. For 5 minutes, then finally was like, oh, okay, I get it. And I still don't get it. Yeah.
I mean, because he didn't define it.
He didn't.
What's 1,000?
Excuse me, Mom?
Hold on, Jason. Sorry, 1 second. I have a mouth. I was going to mute myself. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. We're working on boundaries of not entering my room without knocking, but that also means if I stay 1 second, that means 1 second, don't knock 50,000 times. But anyways, you were saying.
It says, I was saying it totally makes sense that you're still asking
Then it's not
because how would you know?
Oh, can I check the back porch? Maybe they left it there.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where he got this from, and he won't tell me because I mean, in the fact that I'm still thinking about this so much is the problem too. Is like, why is this still in my brain? Because there's 2 different things. If you're just doing like a Groundhog's Day where you're just
back door.
that's strange. Okay, if you're just reliving the same thing over and over and over again, then you're not really ever learning anything new because you're just experiencing waking up doing the same exact thing over and over again. But if it's the same day for 1,000 years, then you would be learning other things. But also, is it 1,000 years if it's the same day over and over again because your time is never really moving forward?
Excuse me, Mom. I have its location in my brain.
Very good, Jason.
That's cute.
There's something cold at the bottom of the bag.
I would assume that the only way to get the 1,000 years, not that, the infinite wisdom with 1,000. Did he say days or 1,000 years?
He said 1,000 years.
Excuse me, Mom.
Okay, 1,000.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm so okay. You assumed that the only way to get to the 1,000 was what?
That it would be
I will come.
if it's 1,000 years but infinite wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
you'd have to have the option to live a day over but be able to make different choices.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was like, okay, so you're living this. That's why I was like, are we reliving like every single day I wake up and it's still April, whatever today is, 25th or whatever. But I'm just doing that over and over and over and over again for 1,000 years, but I'm doing different stuff every time. But
Because if
like,
you have to do it the same time over and over again, you wouldn't be getting any new information.
that's exactly what I was saying too. That was my thought about it too. And then the thing we have to remember is I'm talking to a 9-year-old who just came up with this sentence in his brain and thought it was really cool and wanted to share that with his mother. And he doesn't have the answers because it just, I don't know where it comes from. Sometimes they just make stuff up. Sometimes they think they learned something from a random YouTube video or something they heard on the school bus and they don't understand it. So they're trying to put it together. It's a very illogical sentence that has no actual like answer, and we're trying to decode it. And by the time he's over it, like I think he probably forgot we even had the conversation at this point.
That's very funny. Okay, let's start this sprint because I think my mom just texted me again. Yeah, she's gonna be here soon. So if we start now, it will be within the sprint. And
Let's
we'll
go.
be good. So sprint 3 out of 4. And in 3, 2, 1, happy productivity. That was the end of our third sprint. I'll show off Riley in just a moment. The horns that will go on the dragon head were done earlier today.
I muted myself. I was like, dang, you did so much.
Hold on, let me try and get an angle on Riley without having to pick her up. Because she just got comfortable. Yeah. So that's her on her cooling mat. And then right in front of her is the carrier that my mom brought her in. And then over there that she's not on is her bed.
What's up?
She just doesn't care about, apparently. So
I used to, when we first got Frank, he had like a little bed, and then I realized he doesn't like it. He doesn't use it. It's pointless because he just wants to be rolled up in a sweater or a blanket or wherever I am. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello. He's like, you're talking about me. He's funny.
She looked up at one moment just now because she heard a crinkle, but it's a bubble wrap on the latest candle I bought. I burn my candles so consistently that I go through them too quickly. I think I need to cut down because they're not cheap, but you know, they make me happy.
I do love candles.
I like the ones from the Super Carlin Brothers. And then this one person on Etsy that I know I like, but someone else recommended someone else on Etsy. And I ordered some candles from her, except that recommendation, that person's from Australia. So I won't see those candles for like a month.
Right.
Okay. This one, so the Super Carlin Brothers, they put like charms.
Oh, cute.
When the wax melts. I can't speak today. And then they have themes. Like the first series that they did last year was inspired by Disney princesses, but they couldn't call them that for legal reasons. And then these are based on a certain magical school series.
Oh, yeah.
But for the first one, I didn't get the subscription because I knew because they were like based on princesses, there would be a lot of floral scents that would give me headaches. So I only got the ones that interested me. But for this one, it's like you save a little money by just subscribing to their monthly candle subscription. And worst comes to worst, if I burn it once and don't like it, I can like give it to my mom or give it away or something. So
yeah. I love the idea of the little charms inside it. That's cute.
Yeah, like I don't collect them for that because they'll be like, oh, like make sure you buy every candle and get at least one. And I'm like, I don't need it like that. If I don't like the smell of the candle, I'm not melting it enough to even reach that.
Yeah.
So.
When I first started the Indie Bookworm and I was like putting like boxes together, and that was the idea behind it. There was a little charm, and I would get all the charms from different Etsy shops to kind of support like the indie authors as well as like small independent businesses and stuff was the idea of it. It just didn't work because the only way to make the concept work was to be charging a whole lot more for it. And I wanted it to be affordable, but also there was just like no way. There was just no way to make it work. But initially that's what we were doing. And so every box had a charm. And like, so when you got your first box, there was like a bracelet that then you could add all your charms to. And I still have all of the charms somewhere, like the ones that were left over and stuff.
I still think it's a really cool concept.
It is. It's a cool concept. Yeah.
Maybe one day you'll be able to.
It's just one of those things that it's with the way that honestly it was shipping costs that killed it, really, because it was like as soon as I started to, it was like 2 months later, the shipping costs skyrocketed. And I either had to increase the pricing or keep the shipping. And then I was in the hole every single time because I wanted to still make sure that I was like, eventually it'll come out of it. But then I couldn't no longer do that. And I think it is a really great concept, but unless you have large numbers of subscribers, so then you can go through and then you can get real discounts and get things more wholesale and stuff like that, then there's really no way to do it feasibly. But what I was doing instead was finding all these really cool businesses that I thought were really great and wanting to support them. And then there was very little discount. So really I was buying everything at the same cost that anybody else would buy them at and packaging it and then doing the shipping and all. And then when I came back and started again last year with the idea of, okay, instead I'm just going to do books only, and then I'll like design a bookmark or something. That was a really great idea. But again, it came down to, why are you going to buy the book from me for one price when you can just go directly to Amazon and buy it there for a lower price? There was really no point in it.
Yeah.
So unless I'm being able to buy 1,000 at a time, then it just didn't work out. So now I'm just focusing on the blog portion and promoting it that way, which was all the stuff that I wanted to do, but never had time for when I was worrying about curating boxes and packaging orders and all of the other stuff. I didn't have time to do the stuff that I really thought was going to be fun. So.
Well, if it ever happens again, I will support you.
Of course.
Because I was like really excited about it, but at the time I just didn't have disposable income to.
Of course. And it wasn't like it was an inexpensive box. It was like $60 with shipping included, but that's still like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if it was,
I was looking up if you could do media mail, and it's like, no, the moment you add something that's not a book
exactly,
or DVD or something, like it's no longer allowed. I'm like, dang.
That's why it was like, and the shipping costs have gotten so outrageous that it's
like, I haven't made that mistake because if I'm mailing a book, that's it. But I was just curious because I send the pre-order incentive separately. But it was just so weird.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and that's why, like, I think that because bookmarks, I think the way that I did it though, because you can't even to get media mail, it has to essentially be like the book or something. So I feel like the bookmark might not have even honestly been allowed, but it never gave me problems when I did switch to the other option where I was just doing the book and the bookmark but you can't put any marketing. The second you put any sort of promotion or marketing on the bookmark, then it's not a bookmark. It's like a promotional material. And so then you can't do media mail because from what I understand, if they question it, they can just open your package.
Yes. Yeah. So what's a bookmark? Like, a bookmark could be like an image of a stack of, like, what if it's an image of the book cover? Does that count as marketing?
I don't know. But honestly, like, I think with those things, it's so little. Like, I just stuck it inside the book. I was like, here you go, because I'm not gonna,
it comes with the book.
It came with the book, exactly. And it was just like, and I had the whole idea. So I still have a bunch of them, but what I was doing was designing the bookmarks, and they were the different like astrological signs that correlated with what month that was. So like Aquarius, or so if it was like January whichever like astrological sign was like the bulk of that month, like that's what it was. And I designed them and had them printed and stuff. But
Yeah.
But now I'm just focusing on the website portion, and I do have some like themed like merch ideas that I want, where like it's not like indie bookworm stuff, but it's just like book themed like coffee mugs or sweaters and stuff like that I've been working on. And then I think my plan is to do all of the interviews in June and then start doing like a podcast for the indie bookworm that comes out. When the randomness is not coming out, then I'll have the indie bookworm. And then when I put, so I kind of bounce back and forth between the one I do with my friend and then the one I would do by myself, where I'm just like interviewing indie authors.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have to double check and see if the pricing for the second print runs, I include them sending me physical copies, because I'd asked for that, but now I'm nervous that they didn't include that in the billing. Okay. That will be for this final sprint. Riley is curled up in her carrier. Really cute. And it'll be great. Where am I? Look, here we go. I'm like, I'm looking for a folder to save something important. I can't find it. Found it. Okay. Okay. Aside from my dining room table, my apartment is now like at its normal level. So that's good.
That's good.
I'll probably still want to do a bit more after the stream ends, but now I can just like eat and work. And
yeah. This last sprint, I wrote 4 words and ate my lunch.
it's a good thing I don't have one.
What? Oh, the shouting the A word. Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom's gets activated anytime a character is named that, or someone in an ad for it is saying it, or whatever. And I'm like, you just gotta.
I have one in every room in my house, and so I've had to start some of them, if they're too close to each other, I change the names. So that way, if I'm standing because if I'm standing right out the door trying to talk to the one in the living room, sometimes one in my bedroom will come up and I'm like, but I'm going to be out there. So I want to listen to it out there.
Can I please have the charger back?
Yeah.
My phone, the phone that's
because yeah, she just doesn't listen, or she'll pick up the wrong thing. But my TV, the remote, sucks up batteries. Even with my rechargeable batteries, I will get brand new, fully recharged batteries, put them in the remote, and 15 minutes later, the batteries are dead. And it does this with every battery, any batteries you put in that thing, it just sucks them up within a very short amount of time, to the point where I don't even know where the remote is, because we just control it with the app on my phone or with the A word.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay, I need to ask someone for paperwork. But let's set up the final sprint.
Okay.
Banners. Excuse me. Okay. It is 5 uniform, hotel, Yankee, Sierra, Whiskey, Sierra, Golf. I know I said that very quickly. It is up on there. Great. Final sprint. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity. How'd you do?
I don't know. I did fine. I finished. I mean, I actually wrote, I don't know, 100 words. Not much, because it's like, because I don't go in with a super, super detailed outline, I just kind of have like a rough idea of what I want to happen, or like certain things, like certain plot points that I need to have happen. So sometimes I can sit down and I'm like, I feel great because I've envisioned every single part and I kind of know what I need to do. I just need to like write it and it's fine. And then other times I'm like, all I know is that these two people are in a room and that they're going to fight. That's it. Like, what are they going to do other than that?
I mean, my brain can't even imagine, like visually imagine the stuff, but I understand. I outline more like you than some people who are like, oh yeah, I have multi-thousand word outlines. And I'm like, and also sometimes I write scenes into the outlines and I'm like, so I understand what you mean about the outlining thing.
Well, and like for me, that's why I just kind of have like the beat sheet, and then I kind of like will piece it together as I go, because some of the best stuff that I've written just randomly came out of me, like in the moment, or like things that I just think are like, there was one scene where I kind of knew like a little bit of what was happening, and I knew kind of what was going to happen. But then as I'm sitting down, I don't know if I was just like hungry or what, but I had this like one character was like making food, but I didn't have a decision of like what. I just knew she was doing some sort of like domestic task. And then I decided it's cooking food. Well, what is she cooking? And then it turned into this whole thing about this like recipe that was being made, and like how that tied to like this backstory of like her family, and it's all in there, and it's just like a few little lines, but those are things from like my family. So like if my grandma ever reads the book, she would look at it and be like, oh my god, like that's my manicotti. But like little things like that, but like a sweet little moment, and it's just like this little moment between these two characters that only took a few lines, but I really loved it, and I didn't have that planned out. So that's why I like writing the way that I do. But it also means that sometimes I can write a lot of words in a really short amount of time and I feel on top of the world. Other times it'll take me 5 days to write 2 paragraphs because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I can't help with that because I haven't solved that part either.
Yeah. And it's fine. What I did go through recently and do though is I significantly shortened like what I'm envisioning for my final word count, because this draft sucks. And I'm getting through it knowing that like I'm just basically writing a couple really awful lines just to kind of get it out of my brain and kind of piece it together, knowing that when I go back and edit, I'm going to fix it all. And instead of just describing the thing that just happened, I'm going to actually be able to go through and make it like the experience and add the sensory details and like actually add things that are happening to it, instead of just like, she walked here and picked up this thing and then she stood here and picked up this thing. It's like I need to actually flesh it out more. And so realizing how awful this is has made me realize it's really not going to take me that much longer to write this draft.
Yay.
Because I'm already in chapter 5, so
yeah. I think there's also something to being like, yay, I've reached the end of this draft. Even if you like reach the end being like, I need to fix so much. It's like, but you still have the high of like, you finished a draft versus being like, I'm just stuck in the middle and not getting anything done. And there's no end in sight, which is like never actually true because there always is, but it feels like there.
Like once I was able to get through the inciting incident, which has taken me so long, and I like got through that part, it was like such a great moment, because that's been my struggle, is to get through it, even though I've already written everything up to that point when I did the script version of this story. But now I'm getting the stuff that happened after that I haven't really written as much on. But I think once I gave myself horribly, it's actually helped me so much, because I'm not sitting here struggling back and forth with like, I can't move forward until this line is is better. I'm just like, it's trash. It's fine, because I'm just trying to get the story out of my brain and
Exactly.
it's like I'm just looking at it like it's like this is my outline. Essentially, you know, like I'm putting it all out there, I'm putting it all together, and then I can go back and I can actually write the story the way it should be.
That's what matters.
Yeah. And how did you do?
I ate.
Good.
I organized my desk a little, which wasn't officially part of my plan, but that was fine. And yeah. Oh, I also did, the most important thing that I did was a lot of coordinating with someone. Although now that I say that out loud, I was coordinating about something, but forgot to get back to them on something else. So, whoops. One day I'll remember to do this correctly. All in one go. Like, hey, while you're talking to this person, remember to talk about all the things you need to talk about to them in one go. Or at least in like subsequent messages. I don't understand where
I
this.
think Jason.
Yeah.
So he has. So I got a new phone like a long while ago, like a year ago or so. I don't know, a while ago, and I had the old one, which was the iPhone 11. I found that, I charge it or whatever, and I give them that to just play games with. And usually you have to do the thing where I lock it down so that way he doesn't have access to the whole phone. He just has like the game that he wants to play. And
Yeah.
I didn't lock it down because he's texting me on the messages app. So it looks like I'm texting myself. And I get from myself, hi there. And then I said, you are not locked down. And he says, you gave it to me, free access to it. That is why I just text you.
I mean, he could have not let you know at all. So.
Oh, absolutely. I remember once. So they were like, I want to say they were maybe 6 years old. It was when we lived in the old apartment. And I went down to grab something from the garage really quick. And they thought it would be really funny to lock the door and then to sit outside of it because they had their dad's phone and to sit outside the door and text me and be like, ha ha, I'm at the door. Yeah. Like, you need to unlock the door right now. And he goes, are you going to give me Robux or something like that? I was like, no, but you're going to let me know right now. And he goes, ha ha. And I could hear them like whispering to each other, like, say this next. And I'm like, oh my God, just unlock the door. And then they unlocked the door. I could have not otherwise.
That is called blackmail. That is called attempted blackmail.
Right. There was another entrance out of the garage too. So like if it was like an emergency, I would have been able to get out and get back into the house. But it was still like, you really think that oh, now he's informing me that this is his phone now. And he's trying to call me. Okay.
That's hilarious.
I mean, we probably do naughty stuff. They just call, like, he could be doing anything right now, and instead he just wants to call me and mess with me. Oh my God.
I think Riley wants to EAT.
Yeah.
So I think we should wrap up.
We should.
And I can do that for her before she.
I need to go get that phone back.
Yeah, I think we have.
He just sent me we having fun TYSM. Is that thank you so much?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm halfway done with one of the wings, but I'm gonna take a break and take care of my baby.
Go sit down, buddy. Go sit down. You're so silly.
Okay. So we mentioned the indie bookworm, but Amara, do you want to
Oh yes.
let's give an outro because we didn't do intros.
We didn't. Hi, I'm Amara Franklin. I'm a caffeine addicted single mom with 2 wild, crazy children, as you have seen. I have a YouTube channel here on YouTube. It's just my name, Amara Franklin. And I also run the website, The Indie Bookworm, which is all about promoting and supporting indie authors. And I am the host of a very strange podcast called The Random Randomness Podcast with my friend Ben Beverly, where we talk about really weird stuff. Like the last one was conspiracy theories and weird laws. Like, did you know that it's illegal in Arizona to put a donkey in a bathtub? So
I did not, but that sounds really fun.
yes, it is fun. The point of the Random Randomness podcast is just to talk about weird, silly things because the world is dark sometimes, and it's just a very small, very short episodes, just to be a silly, goofy, and encouraging space on the internet.
I like that. I really like that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the founder of Inimitable Books, which is dedicated to uplifting marginalized voices without pigeonholing authors into writing about their trauma. We have multiple titles out. Please purchase them if you haven't already. You should also pre-order the ones that haven't come out yet. And remember to upload your receipts to the forms on each book page so that you get the associated gift with each one, which will be shown in the outro of this video. So be sure to stick around even once our faces disappear. And I will be streaming again on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern for 2 hours as part of the Inverse Write-a-thon run by Michael C.B. Chen on YouTube. And then I'll be streaming on Sunday only on YouTube on the Inimitable Books YouTube channel at 9 a.m. Eastern, like normal. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you've done all of that stuff already, please consider donating to the Ko-fi page down below. There are also some things in the shop there that if you're interested in, like a mug or a sticker, you can get those as well. So please check it out. And I will see you all next time. Bye.